So, Claudia, I just want to thank you for coming over to the state office today. I think you've met Stephanie, my supervisor, before. And Claudia is the person who's working with Rudy on the permanency planning team, which you've told me about, but it's a good thing you're here. I really need your help explaining what's going on to Stephanie and also for me.
Kim, thanks for having me, and Stephanie, it's good to see you again. We haven't had a chance to really talk a lot, but this is a great opportunity to meet and talk about a permanency team. And you're actually the first ones that I've met with to talk about it, because we want to make sure that you know what we're doing, and we definitely want to work collaboratively with this. As you know, the agency is moving. We've worked for the last 2 years with Rudy, trying to keep him stable. You know, he's had a difficult time sometimes, you know, with school and everything else and just his behavior. Right now, I mean, he's been stable for the last 2 years. I mean, well, he's stable now.
More or less.
More or less.
He's been one foster home.
He's been one
Betty
foster home.
and Betty have done
Yes.
a nice job with him.
Yeah, Bob and Betty definitely have done. And Rudy's done a lot of work. So right now, the agency itself is making a change in terms of helping kids plan on a longer term basis. And when we talk about permanency team, and again, it is definitely a team involving the individuals who Rudy will identify as important to him as he helps to build, as he thinks about building family and who he wants to be connected to, as he gets prepared for adulthood, who he wants to include in that, and definitely pulling those people together to make sure that we can plan for his future.
So does Rudy get to pick the people that are on his team? Because I worry about letting him have complete say about that.
Well, as you know, Rudy's 16 years old, and I think he can identify who he thinks, I mean, the important people in his life, right? It definitely is a youth-driven process. But as you talk about safety, that's definitely one of the concerns, and that's why I'm sitting with you right now talking to you about it. So you can tell me any clinical concerns that you have, any safety issues that you might think about. We can definitely start talking about them right here. But you and I know that as a 16-year-old, if he wants to reconnect with someone, whoever that is, he will do that. I mean, they're going to find a way to do that. So within this process, it allows us to be able to help him to make reconnections or to plan so that the people who know him can help him plan.
Yeah, I just want to interject at this point, because from a department perspective, you're right. I mean, he's 16, he's going to make those connections, but we still have to make sure that he's safe right now.
Absolutely.
And we do have some concerns with some of the family that he was with before.
Okay.
And again, we just said he's doing really well. He's with Bob and Betty. He's been stable for 2 years, and we clearly want to see that continue.
Absolutely.
I do have to sort of also interject from a department perspective. We're looking at ASFA guidelines. We're looking at our program improvement plan under ASFA. And to really, how are we going to ensure permanency for Rudy at this point? So it sounds like what you're doing really clearly meets with the department's needs, but it does concern me when I hear, well, it's Rudy's plan and family's going to be involved. You know, I think we'd have to be really clear about some parameters there. Absolutely,
and again, that's why I'm meeting with you first.
Okay, good.
One of the things is we definitely want to make sure that this is done in a safe way. Rudy, I mean, I've known Rudy for a long time, and so have you, and he's talked about his Aunt Harriet. He's talked about, you know, and I know there might be some concerns about her, and we want to be able to address that. And that's why it's so important for you to be involved, so we can work together collaboratively. If an issue comes up, if there are concerns, we can address that within a context of all of us working together.
Well, I have to say, Claudia, I know one of my real personal concerns, and I've talked this over with Stephanie, and we've talked about it in team meetings, that Harriet just couldn't keep Rudy safe when he was living with her. And after he left, she and I were not able to really find a place where we could talk about what happened very well. So if part of the plan might be that he moves back in with Aunt Harriet, his Aunt Harriet, now we've upset one great placement and a potential for another placement blowing up in the midst of doing this work that's supposed to be getting us closer to our goals. So I just would not feel comfortable at all about him going back to Harriet's house.
Well, I mean, that's an excellent point. One of the things with this process is we're talking about planning. We're not talking about placement. There's no, we're not trying to upset him from where he is. Bob and Betty have played an important role for him. And you're right, he has been doing a lot of work there. They've done a lot of work with him. We're not trying to upset that. we just want to be able to help him to reconnect with the people that he defines as family.
But he stays where he is while this is happening?
Yes, we're not
Okay.
trying to change his placement.
And we're very cautious in how we proceed with those reconnection, because my understanding is he has not had that much
No.
contact with
Not
Aunt
really.
Harriet during this 2 years?
No.
And none at all?
At times, none at all.
Okay.
At the beginning,
Yeah.
there was a little bit, but not so much lately.
Okay. So
Well,
just to have Aunt Harriet come in now,
absolutely.
just to be really conscious of, again, we have some real concerns about how that would look, and we really want to make sure that this placement, and again, moving to permanency, that potentially we would be looking at this foster parents to be adopting him, and from department's perspective, be moving forward with a termination
Right.
of parental rights.
Yeah. Well, just to let you know a little bit more about the process, we wouldn't just have a large team meeting and just like throw Rudy in there with Aunt Harriet and all these other
Okay.
people. We would absolutely, and you can be involved in that process, be able to meet with people individually as we move along.
Okay.
That would be an important part of this, is to make sure that Kim was involved at every step of the way. Can I also throw in, we are doing much more family team meeting.
Right. I was wondering.
At this point, I don't want this to be in addition to it. I have to look at Kim's
Right.
caseload right now.
Absolutely.
This would have to be integrated with that process.
That would make
I
sense.
think those are some excellent points, and I think Kim, I mean, we've worked together for a while. I can give you a call. We can definitely work on those issues. We're not going to try and conflict or work in cross purposes with what you're doing here. Okay. But what I can do is I can give you a call. We can try and set up some times. I don't know if you want to go and see Rudy just to talk to him about it, but all along the way, I'll keep you informed of what's happening and make sure that you're included in this process.
I think it would make sense, don't you, Stephanie, for me to be at a first meeting or one of the first meetings with Claudia around the idea that we're
We'll do
saying you
that.
can do this work, Rudy.
Okay, I'll give you a call and then we'll
Okay.
do
Yeah.
that.
I would want to make sure that, Kim, you're involved, quite frankly, with all of the meetings as much as possible,
Okay.
especially any larger meetings. I would definitely want to make sure that the state is represented
Okay.
and Kim's there.
Well, thanks a lot for meeting with me. All along the way, we're going to keep you informed. Make sure you're involved in the process.
Great, thanks.
Yeah, we really appreciate that. Thank you.